People need to know
Can you
that.
wait until we're recording to talk about it?
I'll wait. I'll
Or are you just going to be,
I'll just wait for an eternity.
you want to write it down in your notebook?
I don't need to write it down.
Karen,
Got it all in the
I got
cabeza.
him notebooks to write things down in it.
Got it all up in the cabeza.
No.
Yeah.
The notebooks.
All up in here.
All right,
Like
we ready?
this.
Are we going to talk about it or are we going to actually talk about it?
Hey, actions speak louder than words. Let's do this.
Okay, here we go.
This has been fun. It's been a journey, and like I said, it's good to have everybody growing with us on this. And last session we touched on synergizing and building a team, and brought us to this point to where we're at that point. And we also talked a lot about short-term rentals.
Yeah, I actually had a couple people on social media commenting and asking questions, and so I just put the link for the questions about short-term rentals or how we got into short-term rentals. So it's nice to be able to share the podcast to people, that have inquiries about it.
Yeah. And I think what we would like to do, because we got some other questions on that. And of course, at the end of this session, we'll answer a question that we picked from last week. But we thought we wanted to explain a little bit about why we decided from a business standpoint to break things down into divisions, because it was important, because when a client hires you to do something, whatever field you're in, they want to know they're getting the person that's an expertise in that particular field or division. So today we're going to talk about new homes, new construction homes, new builds, new home purchases. No better person to talk about this than the person is the president of our new home division, who created it from the ground up. It's her baby. It's your baby. So tell me about this new home division, and what was your dream and sight for this?
So one of the big things that we talked about is staying in our own lanes. Mm-hmm. So when you and I started working together, we could work together, but we couldn't work together. And you said I was too bossy, I believe, and that I wanted to recreate something. And so I said, well, you know what? Let me jump into something that I'm unfamiliar with, but as a new agent, if you're a new a real estate agent out there, especially right now, and with the boom of the economy, start with new homes would be my thing. But with me, we started a while back. So I've been in real estate. I'm going on 6 years, and I noticed that there was not a lot of new home real estate agents that were specialists. And I was like, well, let me specialize in new homes and just learn everything that I can about new homes. So then that way, when someone comes to us and says, hey, I want a new construction build, I can answer all those questions. And that's exactly what I did. And then we launched from there.
So your vision was to learn it inside and out, what goes into buying a new home. So when a potential new home client came to you, you knew how to answer the questions.
Absolutely. And it has been just amazing with the growth and how I've synergized with different builders. And so when I first started, I still continue to do the same thing. It's very important for me to understand the background of the builders, where their corporate offices are based out, where they're based out of. Are they strictly a Texas based company, or are they a national based company? And really also to know where the support comes within the builder. And we'll go down this a little bit in the conversation, but the reason why it's important to have a good relationship with the sales rep is as we're going through the process, and even after the process, or even after you purchase the home, I wanted to know that my clients are going to be taken care of. Mm-hmm. So let's say you needed a repair done in that first year, because in the first year, we have a 1-2-10 warranty. So we call it a 1 year bumper to bumper warranty. And in that 1 year, I wanted to make sure that the sales rep that I'm communicating with, that we were going to be a great partnership to help our clients, not just from that closing and purchasing the home and getting, yes, they're so excited, but after that.
I wonder, pardon me, I wonder how many times too, I mean, we haven't seen it, but how many people listening out there have gone through the process alone and felt like they were truly doing it alone, and then they get through, and then there's like crickets, and there's like, okay, where did my people go? right? And they're facing all these warranties and all these structural repairs, and that first year of inspection, they're facing it all by themselves, right?
Yeah.
And so I see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, home
To have the vision to do that.
taxes, homestead exemptions, and taxes, and we'll go into that's one of the topics that we want to talk about today is that misconceptions that
Definitely. So a lot of people don't know, and this is a very, very common misconception. We see it happen all the time. This is a two-part, is that buyers that are shopping for new construction homes don't know that they have the right. They absolutely have the right to have someone who is a state licensed agent and in the profession represent them and at no charge. The builder pays the commissions. So when you go into it without representation, I think this is what Melinda you were touching on too, is it's to have the knowledge, and you get all of our resources, you get everything at no charge, but you have someone in your corner. And I think that's more important.
forever.
Right? Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff. They're throwing stacks of paper at someone buying a new home. And you're like, okay, I sign.
It's the exciting part. So right. It's the excitement part. So you're excited, you get pre-approved, and let's say that you don't have an agent with you. And one of the things I want to say is the sales rep wants the real estate agent. They want us to partner with them. It's a win-win for everybody. The builder wants real estate agents to partner. And
for communication, right?
Yeah, definitely for communication. But the sales rep does not represent the buyer. They don't represent you. They represent the builder. They're working and getting a salary from the builder. So they don't represent you. So I'm representing you, and then I'm helping you along the way. So that sales rep, their job is to sell homes. It's not to make sure your taxes got filed the correct way or your homestead. So that is why
that was a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also one thing that I wanted to add on to what you said was having you, and I've seen it happen firsthand multiple times, is you've built these relationships with these builders over the past almost 7 years. And so what that does for the buyer, now they not only have someone representing them, but now they have someone that has an insight with these builders. And Melinda you've done a really good job with that, but it also helps us negotiate additional incentives on top of that. So using someone that doesn't cost them a penny, and they save, I've seen $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 be saved on a home just by.
Yeah, and then negotiating. So especially right now, because there's so many new builds, are we going to use the in-house lender? Is that going to save the client more money? Or are we going to use an outside lender? Maybe somebody needs zero down payment assistance or zero down. Yeah, zero down or some type of payment assistance. And then it gets very confusing with who's paying for the closing cost. If you use the in-house lending, the builder will pay for your closing cost, and we can negotiate how much of that.
Or rate buy down. So there's a lot of moving pieces with the finances. And the ultimate goal is to figure out where you want to be. Maybe your goal financially is the price of the home. Or maybe your goal financially is the monthly payment. And monthly payment is typically where everybody's at. And they want they want to make sure that monthly payment stays there, but they also want to make sure that their home that they purchase, they're going to get something that if they decide to relocate or transfer with their job, or something happens and they need to sell their home, they want to make sure that they bought a good investment. Absolutely. And that's where that equity comes into play too, because not only do we just represent them on the purchase, we also do the comps and we do the comparables to make sure that they're not overpaying for house.
Appraisal.
To support what you were saying, because there's going to be an appraisal done. And in most cases, I will say that we do a pretty good job of doing that. And then it's fun going to your client and saying, hey, I know you're paying $700,000 for this house, but it just appraised at $743,000. So knowing on day one that they have all that equity is really reassuring in regards to what you're saying. If life happens, what we always call it, if they have to relocate, or, if a tragic event happens, or whatever the case may be, and they have to sell, they're reassured from day one that they have that equity.
One of my favorite things about helping clients with new builds is because I'm in model homes and new builds all the time, is I love matchmaking. And I have a client that will sit there and say, I want this specific floor plan. I want this style of a home, want this type of amenities in a neighborhood. And I have been in so many different homes, and our team has been in so many different homes, that we can immediately go, okay, they're looking for this builder. I know exactly what they're wanting with these amenities, this HOA, and this price point. And I have the capabilities. I work with a company called Builder Boost, which I didn't have. So when I first started real estate, which I still need, I relied on those sales reps communication, because I had to call them up. I literally had to call every sales rep up and says, what is your inventory? What are your lots available? And what are your price points? And what incentives can you negotiate with? We can negotiate for our clients. And now I have something, Builder Boost, where I have digital access
at your fingertips,
immediately to help clients.
That's good. I mean, that's a resource too, when we talk about the resources they get. So you touched on something with amenities, and that's like when I'm sure everybody knows what amenities are, but just in case, it's like pool, walking trails, basketball courts, play courts, pickleball, whatever it may be. But there's another whole aspect to this thing, right? So we've run into situations before, and our clients were very thankful that we knew this insight going into it. So we want to touch a little bit on. Tell me a little bit about MUDs and PIDs and HOAs and transfers on that and everything else, because those are things that the builder's not going to necessarily volunteer to a potential home buyer, right?
So there's and I'm not an expert on PIDs and MUDs by any example by any means, I should say. But it's your utilities. So a PID is, I'll give you an example. There's a Trace in San Marcos community. And Trace has multiple builders in that community. And what has happened is the original infrastructure, the city has partnered with the developer. This is not the builder. So a lot of times people get confused between a developer and a builder. A builder is like D.R. Horton, Perry Homes, Highland Homes. The developer is who develops the infrastructure, the water, the roads, the signs.
Our land and ranch team works with a lot of those.
So Jason will go into that in another podcast. But the infrastructure is, the city will partner with it. And so in Trace community, it's a great community. I've sold lots of homes in Trace. It's beautiful. It has amazing swimming pools for your kids and walking trails and parks. It really is a master plan community. But with the PID part, the developer and the city didn't want to pay for the roads. The developer couldn't pay for the roads. So now what they've done is they put what they call a PID tax back on the homeowners. And when they do that,
and that's like a promissory to pay.
It's a promissory to pay for X amount of time. So the duration of what that is. So if I sell a new build to a client in that neighborhood right now, then let's say they might have an additional $200 a month. It's not their HOA. It's called a PID tax. And then if I sell their home in 5-10 years, 5-6 years, let's say that I sell their home, then that tax is going to go to the new homeowner.
What's left on that duration?
Well, yeah.
So let me ask you. So I'm out there, I'm shopping with my spouse, and we fall in love with a home.
Your wife picks the perfect home.
My wife always picks the perfect everything. Look at her husband. I'm just playing. That's a total joke. Everybody knows that. But let's say I'm out there looking for a home. We find the perfect.
I think you are pretty perfect, by the way.
Oh, come on. Yeah. Come on. You're throwing me off my game. Come on. So we find what we feel is the perfect home, and we come to Melinda, right?
You have the aha, oh my gosh, this is it. I feel it. I have that warm and fuzzy feeling.
We're going to do this. And no matter what, I don't care what the monthly fee is. We just want to do it.
Or they can just get your payment to work.
Yeah, or they didn't, but they come to you and they didn't know about all this. So how do you go about telling them, say, hey, we know this is a house you want, but it's your fiduciary duty, right, to let them know these are things you need to know about, because it's going to make their mortgage go up.
Absolutely. It is never about the end game for me is never about, right, our business is on referrals. And That's our livelihood is on referrals. And so if I put a client into a home and I falsified and I didn't tell them exactly what they were getting into, right representation. So if you're working with a sales rep, you might not understand. There might be some gray areas.
They might zip over that part.
And if you're working with an agent, I am going to make sure that you understand exactly what you're signing and exactly what you're paying for. So, because people get so excited about the purchase of it that
they fall in love with the actual house itself.
Yes.
But don't, and there's nothing wrong with that. We've done it too.
We've done it, yeah.
So you fall in love with the home itself, but you don't have anybody telling you about, okay, let me tell you about all the infrastructure and the things that went into the build of this that you might be responsible for. The
best decision for your family or for your investment or whatever that might be.
Right.
The other thing is the mud, and the mud is the utilities and the water, and that's a huge conversation in Texas right now, probably in the nation.
There's water shortages and stuff because of the drought.
Yeah, a huge water shortage. We're in an extreme drought. And there are a lot of muds, and it's basically where they ship in the water. That's just the best way I could say it is they outsource the water from another area, and and that's fine. You're going to be paying an additional tax. And let's say the water that's sourced in, let's say that those water prices go up. That means your mud tax goes up. So as long as you're educated and you're okay with knowing what the outcome will be, and you want to live in that neighborhood, I just want to make sure everybody's informed.
More transparent. Yeah. And then, the scary thing is, even if you have had a fixed rate, right, on your mortgage, they say it's only going to be this percentage. You get those other variables that start going into that, and then you're not safe on that. It could vary.
And we've had so many, and it just jogs my memory. You had somebody that we picked up something from like the garage sale or swap shop from somebody, a piece of furniture, and it can cause people to go into hardship.
Oh, I remember that guy. Yeah, they did. Yeah. They weren't told. They were very angry. I won't name the community. But we got into like a 40-minute discussion, and he was like, no one told me. He goes, my mortgage went up over $600.
Yeah.
And now we can't afford it.
And so now they're selling off, furniture or whatever, mowing lawns or whatever it was to make
ends. He was mowing grass?
Yeah, to make ends meet. And
I respect the hell out of that.
So we want to make sure everybody, the other big thing that I want to share is when people buy a new house that they don't know about is the taxes. And so a lot of times where someone will buy a house, but if the county has not rolled out the taxes, they're only taxing you on the lot, not the house.
Yeah. So for people listening, when you decide, hey, I'm going to buy this new construction home, and it's May of that year. Well, when they broke ground in January of that year, it was just dirt. So when you buy the house in May, it's all pretty and done. When the tax rolls come out next year, now there's a dwelling on that dirt, right? Yeah. So you need someone that's going to have your best interest. And we work with lenders that are really good about that, and some that don't mention it.
Yeah. So what happens is if you're just financing on that lot with those taxes, that tax rate's lower. So it makes that mortgage payment lower. So you're like, oh man, that's going to be my mortgage payment. But then when those taxes roll out the next year, it's got that dwelling on it, and then it goes up.
And most lenders will incorporate that on a new build if you're working with it.
But you also got to make sure that that's the case, because you don't want to get into, hey, I think my payment's going to be X amount of dollars, and then the next year it goes significantly up.
Yeah. So in the last 20 minutes, I've known we've thrown a lot at you. We're going to have links.
Yeah.
We'll have links to this stuff. If you have specific questions on, PUDs, or, mud, taxes,
HOA, communities, master plan communities, amenities.
Yeah. So you're going to have questions, and that's what we're here for. We like to be an open book, right? And do that. So anything else on new homes? And can I touch on one thing with that too? We just had it, and we won't go into a long topic conversation on this, but we just had some clients that were they came to us to get a new build, and they were in a current lease.
Oh, yeah.
Melinda's done a great job negotiating with a lot of builders where we can actually buy out someone's lease if they're in a current lease, right? We can buy it out. The particular company they were with they were horrible, and we had to jump through hoops to try to get them out of their lease so they weren't strapped with two mortgages. So if you're in a current lease and you're looking to break it before you go buy a new build or whatnot, give a company like ours or another reputable company a call first and find out what goes into doing that, right?
Yeah,
it's so important.
And then also, even before you're leasing,
excuse me,
don't get into a lease agreement where you're bounded to it for a long. So just read the terms.
Months before,
read the terms,
or have someone review it. Prior to getting into a lease.
If you know that you want to make a purchase, or and just you have representation, you have people that can help you, and we're honored to help people. I do research daily on new homes.
Yes, you do,
and work with different people. And
just if you were selling anything, right? If not just homes, if you were out there selling something else, you want to know everything about that product, right? Yeah. So it's good to be informed. That way, you're not just blowing smoke up someone's ass, lack of a better term. There's people out there that'll do that just to get the deal. And,
a client recently told us, and I love the way she put it. Yeah. She said, she had a bad experience. She had a horrible experience. And she said, that person was about a paycheck and y'all are about a business, not even just business. She was like, I generally care about where it goes, because if we don't have good experiences, we don't have good referrals. And if we don't have good referrals, then, well, I don't know what your job would be, but we would have to get creative on it.
Yeah, definitely. So that's great. And so we had, is there anything else on new homes?
There's a lot on new homes, but for right now, y'all can follow me on social media for the new home division. And if there's any time that you ever want to look at homes or model homes, or if you have a question, you're driving through a neighborhood and you're like, should I buy the resale home or do I want to look at a new home? Everybody has their own preference on what they want. And
I think you don't have to do it alone. A lot of people don't know. I would probably say 60 to 70% of new home buyers out there didn't know they had the right to be legally represented by someone at no charge. And that's what baffles me, because more people need to let people know that, people listening to this, they might not even choose us.
Yeah.
But they need to know that they have the right to be represented, because you need someone in your corner. You need someone in your corner negotiating for you. There's so many times we hear after the fact, we're like, oh, so-and-so got a house. I'm like, how do you like it? And he goes, yeah, we paid this. I'm like, you paid what? And we could have, honestly, we really could have saved them $10,000, $20,000.
Yeah, depending on the builds. I've negotiated blinds, garage door openers, washer and dryer, refrigerator.
Whatever the need is, credit rates or interest rates, sorry.
Yeah.
So,
we also have credit repair programs for new homes.
We do.
So if that's something where it's like, hey, I'm renting now, I need to get out of my lease, or maybe I'm living with someone, maybe I'm living at home still, depending on where you're at, and you want to help build your credit. Maybe you have a zero credit because you've lived at home and you haven't had any credit. You need to build your credit. So I have home buyer programs that can help you get into a home. But I'm very passionate about it. I take it very seriously. And
you do. I've seen you firsthand with the new home clients in our new home division. So thank you and I stayed out of your way.
You have. You stayed out of my lane. You really have. So we've done a great job with that.
Yeah. Like my grandma said, sometimes you need to shut this and open this.
Yeah. Well, that's
shut my mouth, open my ears.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. Well, one more thing I just wanted to share. We work with all different types of builders. So we work with custom builds. So if you want to build on your own land, we work with custom builders. And let's say you have a piece of property that you've been paying on, you repay it off. If you want to roll that in and do a construction loan, we have a client that's currently working on that.
And the untapped resource that no one knows about, which is, I don't know why not everybody doesn't know about it, but it's mybuilderincentives.com. Mm-hmm. These people are amazing. They kind of, what we do is we can negotiate additional incentives. I don't know what they do, but they're able to get, once they find out the community and the city it's in, pretty much anywhere in the state, they can go and they come back with addition. We've had, some clients get up to $6,000 off the cost. So it's mybuilderincentives.com. They're amazing. Also, like Builder Boost, stuff like that. But mybuilderincentives.com was awesome. There's just a lot of untapped resources that we can help you get. So.
Yeah. And knowledge is power. And
Yeah.
Our goal is we know the longevity for living in a home right now. The duration is not the same as anybody. It's not the same as our parents, right? Where you lived in your home, you paid it off. It's about 5 to 7 years at the most. And then life changes and your season changes. And I want to know that you're going to call me back and say, hey, Melinda, we've lived in this home for about 5 to 7 years and I'm ready to move up. Maybe you're want to go into a larger floor plan.
Cash in on that equity.
Yeah. Cash in on your equity. And I want to know that I put you into a good investment.
Amen to that. Well, we, last episode, we talked about the team and the synergizing and stuff. So we always like to end talking about the question we got. And one of the questions we did get was about, how do you know, I'm so sorry, oak pollen. So for those that suffer from it,
Or moving to Texas.
Yeah, moving to Texas. The question we got was, how do you know who to put on your team, from a representation standpoint? And the answer to that is usually like with us, we're in real estate. So it's finance, it's escrow, it's home warranties, it's inspectors, all that. With your business, it might be someone totally different that you work with on a daily basis. Work with them. Don't let them know you're trying to build a team and you're going to be approaching them, because you want to audition them without them knowing. So you get that real relationship. Anybody we've added from a finance standpoint, or our escrow team, is they were auditioning long before they knew we wanted them to be part of our team.
Even our, I guess like a second layer to our business, HVAC, plumbing, electrical.
Yeah. To answer the question, yes, you're exactly right. But each one of those individuals represent you. So you have to be very, very selective on who you pick to represent you, because at the end of the day, if your client gets screwed over by any of those people or has a bad experience, it's not on them, it's on you. So be selective on who you choose, but don't let them know you're auditioning them. Work with them. Work with a couple of deals with them and see what's up and go from there. So I hope that answered your question. But I think this was about new homes division. I think session 5, we're going to talk about my baby.
Ranch.
Yeah, land and ranch. I love land and ranch.
Moved into land and ranch.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've enjoyed the new home division and we'll continue, and it's going to continue to grow.
Growing,
Texas is booming with new homes, and we're here to help you.
Amen. Well, guys, thank you all again for tuning in. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel. I think it's somewhere down there, up there. Karen, I don't know where she wants me to point. I'm just going. But make sure to subscribe to our channel. We also have upcoming sneak peeks of new listings and stuff. They go there first before they're anywhere else. So thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your questions. And let us know what we can do to make this better, or what we need to keep doing at this work. And until then,
rock on.